The bar lights blur as I stare at my phone. My hands shake. My chest tightens. There she is, Lauren. Smiling. Flirting. Just looking for fun. My best friend, Jake, shifts uncomfortably. Man, I'm sorry. A sharp ringing fills my ears. My stomach twists. My world cracks. I should have known. Marriage isn't supposed to feel like this. Like walking on eggshells in your own home. Like sharing a bed with a stranger. Like being in a conversation where the words don't matter, only the silence between them. Lauren and I have been married for 7 years. We met in college, fell hard and fast, and before I knew it, I was down on one knee, slipping a ring on her finger, promising forever. Back then, she was my best friend. We laughed at the same dumb jokes, shared the same late-night cravings, and had that unshakable bond that made other couples jealous. But now she feels distant. Slippery, like trying to hold onto water. At first, I ignored the signs. The late nights at work. The sudden interest in hitting the gym 5 days a week when she never cared before. The way she started turning her phone screen away when I walked into the room. You're overthinking, I told myself. She's just stressed. Work's been tough. But then there were the little lies. I'm working late, she'd say, but the office would be dark when I drove past. I'm out with Sarah. But Sarah would slip up and mention they hadn't seen each other in weeks. And the intimacy? Gone. Like a switch had flipped. Our sex life, which was never a problem before, became something I could only describe as non-existent. When I tried to initiate, I'd get the same excuses. I'm tired. I'm not feeling well. Maybe this weekend. But weekends came and went, and so did the excuses. The worst part? She didn't even seem guilty. She wasn't overcompensating with affection or making any effort to reassure me. No, she was just checked out. It was like she had one foot out the door and was waiting for the right moment to leave. I told myself I was being paranoid. But paranoia and gut instinct are two different things. And my gut was screaming. One night, I decided to test the waters. We were sitting on the couch, her scrolling through her phone, me pretending to watch TV. I casually leaned over, trying to sneak a peek at her screen. In an instant, she tilted it away, locking it before I could see anything. What was that? I asked, trying to keep my voice light. She barely glanced at me. What was what? You just locked your phone. She shrugged. So? I always do. That wasn't true. She used to leave it lying around, unlocked, because we had nothing to hide. But now she guarded it like her life depended on it. I pushed a little. You've been acting weird lately. Her eyes narrowed. Weird how? I don't know. Distant. Secretive. She scoffed. Jesus, Mark, you're being ridiculous. Just because I don't shove my phone in your face 24/7 doesn't mean I'm hiding something. She said the right words, but the way she said them? Cold. Dismissive. Like I was the problem for even questioning her. I let it go that night, but I didn't stop watching. I started noticing more things. How she'd get random texts late at night, and turn away to read them. How she started dressing up more, wearing perfume even when she was supposedly just running errands. Then there was the laughter. One night, I woke up to the sound of her giggling, soft, flirtatious, the kind of laugh she used to give me when we first started dating. But when I rolled over, her back was to me, phone in hand, the screen glowing in the dark. That was the moment I knew. I didn't have proof, not yet, but I didn't need it. You don't spend years with someone, know every inch of their soul, and not feel when something has shifted. I wanted to confront her right then and there. Shake the truth out of her. But something stopped me. What if I was wrong? What if I was just insecure, reading into things that didn't mean anything? So I waited. And watched. And then, fate intervened. Jake found her profile. It's funny how life works. You can spend weeks, months, even years convincing yourself that everything is fine. That you're just paranoid. That the woman you married, The woman you built a life with would never do this to you. And then, in a single moment, the illusion shatters. It started with a text from Jake. Jake, dude. Call me. Now. Jake isn't the type to send cryptic messages. We've been best friends since high school, and if something was wrong, he'd usually just say it straight up. But something about that text made my stomach clench. I stepped outside, away from Lauren, and dialed his number. He picked up on the first ring. Mark, listen. I don't know how to say this, man. His voice was tense. Just say it. A pause. A deep breath. And then, I found Lauren on Tinder. For a moment, I didn't react. The words didn't compute. It was like my brain refused to process them. What? I was swiping, just killing time, and dude, she popped up. No. There's no way. My voice came out weak. I swear to God. I screen recorded it. Check your messages. My hands trembled as I pulled up my texts. There it was, a video from Jake. I tapped play. The screen showed Tinder, Jake's thumb swiping left through a few profiles. And then, there she was. Lauren. The profile picture was recent, taken just a few weeks ago. She was wearing the red dress I bought her for our anniversary. The one she swore she didn't like because it was too flashy. Her bio? Just looking for fun. Not here for anything serious. Let's keep it discreet, winky face. My vision blurred. My ears rang. My own wife. The woman who slept beside me every night. The woman who kissed me goodbye every morning. On Tinder. Jake's voice snapped me back. Mark? You still there? I don't know what to say. Man, I'm sorry. I didn't know if I should tell you, but... No, you did the right thing. My voice was hoarse. Thanks. I hung up before he could say anything else. For a few minutes, I just stood there, staring at the video, my brain trying to reject the reality in front of me. But there was no denying it. The pictures. The bio. The winking emoji like some cheap, flirty afterthought. I wanted to scream. Punch something. Throw my phone against the wall, and watch it shatter like my life just had. Instead, I took a deep breath. I needed to be smart about this. If she was lying to my face about this, what else was she hiding? How long had this been going on? How far had it gone? I opened Tinder. I didn't have an account, but that was an easy fix. A few minutes later, I was in. I searched for her, swiping through endless profiles, my hands sweating. And then, there she was. Again. I clicked on her profile. My stomach twisted into knots. She had multiple pictures. Not just the one Jake showed me. Different outfits. Different locations. She'd put effort into this. Then, the worst part. The app showed when she was last active. Lauren had been online 20 minutes ago. My blood ran cold. That was when we were sitting on the couch together, her on her phone, pretending to scroll through Instagram. She was swiping for other men while sitting right next to me. The betrayal hit me like a freight train. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't some old, forgotten profile like she'd probably tried to claim. This was deliberate. And I needed proof. So I swiped right. And waited. It didn't take long. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. It's a match! I felt sick. My own wife had just matched with me on Tinder. I clicked on the chat. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. I could message her. Say something. Confront her in the most direct way possible. But no. That would be too easy. I needed to hear her lie to my face. I needed to see if she would actually try to gaslight me out of this. So I closed the app, took a deep breath, and walked back inside. Lauren was still on the couch, her face illuminated by her phone screen. She looked up at me and smiled, completely unaware that her world was about to come crashing down. Hey, she said casually. Everything okay? I forced a smile. Oh yeah, I said. Everything's just fine. I stood there for a moment, watching her. Studying her. Lauren had no idea. She just sat there, scrolling through her phone, probably swiping on more guys, maybe even messaging them while I was standing right in front of her. I clenched my fists, forcing myself to stay calm. Not yet. Not until I heard it from her own mouth. I walked over and sat next to her on the couch. "What are you up to?" She glanced at me and smiled. "Just scrolling." My stomach twisted. I could see the Tinder icon on her home screen before she quickly swiped away. I took a slow breath, forcing my voice to stay casual. "Hey, random question. You ever used Tinder before?" Her fingers froze on the screen. It was subtle, but I caught it. She looked at me, laughing nervously. "What?" "No." "Why?" I shrugged. "Just something Jake was talking about earlier. He said a lot of people in relationships secretly have accounts. Crazy, right?" She rolled her eyes. "People are disgusting." That was it. The lie. So smooth, so easy. I pulled out my phone. "Yeah, you're right. I mean, if someone was cheating, they'd have to be really stupid to put their face on an app like this, right?" Her smile faltered for half a second. I opened Tinder and turned my phone toward her. There it was, her profile. Her pictures. Her bio. All of it staring back at her. She blinked. Her face paled for the briefest moment before she forced a laugh. "Oh my God, Mark! That's not even real." I tilted my head. "It's not," she scoffed. "No. Someone must have stolen my pictures and made a fake account." I nodded slowly, pretending to think it over. "Right. That makes sense. A random stranger just happened to steal your pictures and make a profile with them." She folded her arms. "It happens all the time." "Really? Because, I scrolled down. It says you were active 20 minutes ago." Her eyes darted to the screen. She was losing her grip. "That's probably a glitch." "A glitch?" "Yeah. Or maybe it's an old account from before we met, and it just reactivated or something." I let out a sharp laugh. "We've been together for 7 years, Lauren. Tinder wasn't even around when we met." Her jaw tightened. She was scrambling, reaching for anything to dig herself out. "You don't believe me?" she snapped. I leaned in, staring her dead in the eyes. "Not even a little bit." And then she snapped. "Oh my God, Mark, why are you even checking Tinder in the first place?" "Huh. If you found my profile, that means you were on there too." I almost laughed at how fast she flipped it. Classic deflection. Classic Lauren. I held up my phone. "Jake found it. He sent me a video. You want to see it?" She shook her head. "I don't have to see anything because I know it's fake." I sighed. "Fine. Let's do this another way." I pulled out my phone and opened Tinder again. My fingers hovered over the screen as I pulled up our match. "You see this?" I asked. Lauren's face twisted in confusion. "What?" "This is my Tinder profile. The one I made 20 minutes ago." She swallowed hard. "And you know what's funny?" I continued. "I swiped right on your profile just to see what would happen. And guess what?" I turned my phone toward her. "You matched with me." Her mouth opened, but no words came out. I leaned back, giving her space to dig her own grave. "So, Lauren, explain to me how a fake profile managed to match with my real one?" She blinked rapidly, her mind racing for an escape route. "Maybe someone hacked my account?" I scoffed. "So now it's your account?" "Thought it was fake." She hesitated, realizing her slip-up. Then, the final shift happened. The moment where she realized she was caught. Her face hardened. The fake panic, the nervous laughter, it all vanished. She leaned back against the couch, arms crossed, and let out a breath. "Fine. You want to know the truth?" I nodded slowly. "Yeah, Lauren. I really do." She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "I was just bored." My heart stopped. She shrugged, completely unfazed. It wasn't serious. I wasn't actually cheating. I just liked the attention, okay? Just the attention? I repeated. Yeah, she said, like I was the idiot. It's not like I met up with anyone. I shook my head in disbelief. You have an entire profile telling people you're just looking for fun. And you think that's not cheating? She rolled her eyes. Jesus, Mark, stop being so dramatic. It's not a big deal. I stared at her, feeling something inside me snap. This was who I married. Not the girl I met in college. Not the woman I thought I loved. This cold, dismissive, selfish person sitting in front of me, acting like our marriage meant nothing. I stood up. She frowned. Where are you going? I grabbed my keys. I need some air. She scoffed. Oh, come on. You're not seriously mad about this. I turned to her, my blood boiling. Lauren, you humiliated me. You lied to me over and over again. And you're not even sorry. She shrugged. Because I didn't do anything wrong. I clenched my jaw. You know what? Keep telling yourself that. I walked out the door. And for the first time in a long time, I felt free. I drove aimlessly that night, the city lights blurring past as I tried to wrap my head around what had just happened. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. My chest felt hollow, like someone had carved out my insides and left nothing but a raw, aching space. Lauren. My wife. The woman I had spent 7 years of my life with had just shrugged off her betrayal like it was nothing. Not a tear. Not an ounce of guilt. Just a smug little shrug and a dismissive. It wasn't a big deal. I wanted to scream. I wanted to drive to the middle of nowhere and let the night swallow me whole. I wanted to turn back time, back to when things were simple, when I actually believed in the love we had. But I couldn't. Because that love was gone. I pulled into a parking lot and just sat there, my head resting against the steering wheel. The weight of it all pressed down on me like a suffocating fog. The memories flooded in, uninvited. The late-night talks. The lazy Sunday mornings. The way she used to look at me like I was the only man in the world. When did that stop? When did I become invisible to her? I thought about the way she used to laugh at my stupid jokes, how she used to reach for my hand without thinking. How she used to kiss me like she meant it. And now? Now she was out there, swiping through strangers like I was just another thing she'd gotten bored of. My phone buzzed. Lauren. I stared at the screen, my heart hammering in my chest. Lauren, are you done being dramatic? I exhaled sharply, my grip tightening around the phone. Dramatic. That's what she thought this was. Another message popped up. Lauren, come home. Let's talk about this like adults. Like adults? The same adult who lied to my face 5 minutes ago? I tossed my phone onto the passenger seat and let out a bitter laugh. She didn't get it. She never would. This wasn't just about a dating app. This was about everything. The lies. The disrespect. The complete and utter disregard for our marriage. It was about the fact that I would have never done this to her. That was the part that gutted me the most. I had been loyal. Through every fight, through every hard moment, I had stood by her. I had been faithful, even when things weren't perfect. And she had thrown it all away for what? Attention? Cheap validation from strangers? A new emotion crept in, pushing past the heartbreak. Anger. Not the hot, impulsive kind. This was deeper. Colder. A quiet, simmering rage that sat in my chest like a weight. Because I deserved better than this. I wasn't some disposable thing she could toss aside when she got bored. I wasn't going to let her twist this around, make me the villain, act like I was the one overreacting. No. For the first time in this entire relationship, I saw things clearly. And I knew exactly what I had to do. I sat in the car for a long time, staring at my phone, rereading Lauren's last message. Come home. Let's talk about this like adults. There was nothing to talk about. Nothing left to salvage. I had spent years believing in us. fighting for us. Thinking that if we just pushed through the rough patches, we'd come out stronger. But this wasn't a rough patch. This was the truth revealing itself in the ugliest way possible. I started the car, but I didn't drive home. I drove to Jake's place. When he opened the door, he didn't say a word, just stepped aside and let me in. He knew. He could see it on my face. "Drinks?" he finally asked. "Yeah," I muttered. We sat in silence for a while, the whiskey burning down my throat as I tried to process everything. "You already know what you have to do," Jake said eventually. I nodded. Yeah. Lauren wasn't going to change. She wasn't going to apologize, not in any way that mattered. And even if she did, I'd never be able to trust her again. So the decision was simple. I was done. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg for an explanation that didn't exist. I was just going to walk away. The next morning, I went home. Lauren was sitting at the kitchen table, coffee in hand, scrolling through her phone like nothing had happened. She looked up when I walked in. "Oh, so you're done sulking?" I didn't answer. I just walked past her, straight to the bedroom. She followed. "Mark, seriously. Are we gonna talk about this or what?" I grabbed a suitcase and started packing. Her face twisted. "Oh, come on. You're actually leaving over this? It wasn't even a big deal." I zipped up the bag, turned to her, and said the last words I'd ever say to her as her husband. "It was to me." And then I walked out. It's been 6 months since I walked out of that house, and I haven't looked back. Lauren tried reaching out a few times at first, half-assed apologies, lame excuses, even some desperate attempts to make me jealous by posting pictures with random guys. But I never responded. I blocked her number, deleted our photos, and erased her from my life the way she erased our marriage. And you know what? I don't miss her. I miss the idea of her. The woman I thought she was. But that woman never really existed. Here's what I learned: people don't just change overnight. They reveal who they've been all along. Lauren didn't suddenly become a liar, a cheater, or a selfish person. She just got comfortable enough to stop hiding it. And I was blind enough to ignore the signs. If you're reading this and something in your gut is telling you that something's off in your relationship, trust it. Don't gaslight yourself. Don't let love make you stupid. Because the worst betrayal isn't just finding out someone cheated. It's realizing that while you were busy loving them, they were busy looking for something better. I'm done being someone's backup plan. I choose me. Leave a comment with your thoughts on the story. And subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new interesting stories. See you soon.